Paul says in Romans chapter 12 and verse 1, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice. That's the whole body. That's the mind, that's the soul, that's the external. You present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. And do not conform to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. You know, your body is the vehicle of expression of all of life's activities. That's who you are. It's your vehicle of expression. As you abide in the doctrines and teachings of the Lord, you are abiding in the Spirit, and that's how you manifest God in the world. And so we are to present our external bodies in a particular way. He beseeches the brethren to present your bodies a sacrifice. It's the opposite of self-expression. Self-expression is a problem that we have to fight against in our everyday lives. Number one, be sure your bodies are presented to the world in such a way that it shows that we are living sacrificially and not self-serving, holy and acceptable. And number two, it's teaching that we should be careful to have our minds renewed. While we don't live under the Old Testament law, it teaches us much about holy living, holiness, the character of God. We do not live under the Old Testament law. This is accurate. But the old law was our tutor, which leads us to Christ. The tutor taught us many things, and the apostles used those things, many of those things, and incorporated them into the teachings about godly living. So the principle God was teaching Israel was, do not conform to the Canaanites whom I'm driving out from before you, and be distinct from them. And don't be conformed to the Egyptians whom I've already driven out from before you. For because of these things, God says they are abhorred. Notice these bookend passages. Leviticus 18 and verse 3. According to the doings of the land of Egypt, where you dwelt, you shall not do. And according to the doings of the land of Canaan, where I am bringing you, you shall not do. Nor shall you walk in their ordinances. And so as God was manifesting himself to the world, shaking up the kingdoms, he was telling the Israelites, don't be like him. Then God gives a list of the wicked cultural practices and the immoral sins that they were committing in Egypt and Canaan. Then there's another bookend and a reminder to the children of God. Leviticus 20 verse 22. You shall therefore keep all my statutes, my judgments, and perform them, that the land where I am bringing you, where you may dwell, may not vomit you out. And you shall not walk in the statutes of the nation which I am casting out before you. They commit all these things, and therefore I abhor them. I am the Lord your God, who has separated you from the peoples. And see, we can learn a lot about the character of God. What do we learn? The principle that God does not want the Israelites, his people, to conform to the world. He wants them to be distinct. He wants them to be holy instead of worldly. And he's teaching them that these types of behaviors did not originate within his mind.